get ready to feel like your bones are going to shatter. It's like, it's not what you think.
Chris has said that he's the most important man that ever lived. It was a huge role, huge responsibility. You know, my favorite director, some of the best actors in the world. It was, you know, I have to say yes.
Well, I mean, you're hearing what people are saying about the film. It literally is a cinematic experience. They're using the M word, masterpiece. That doesn't matter. I want to be entertained. I want to be thrilled. I want to be transported. And obviously, I mean, Chris Nolan and IMAX are kind of synonymous at this point. So do yourself a favor. Check it out big format.
My biggest way in was just researching her, and of course there isn't much. However, there are pictures that were taken of her during that time by Robert, and to me, someone like him, for his head to be turned, has to be by someone who is truly magnetic and magical and pretty intelligent. So I understood the message just by the short research that I did, and also coming to a set that was already alive before I got there. It wasn't very hard for me to figure out like what I needed to do.
What Chris gave, I think, all of us was just an amazing script and an amazing direction. Like his notes are so precise and incisive and just spot on, and he just really makes everything better. So it's just a thrill to be in a movie with him.
She was such an exhilarating character to even just read about. She was so exciting for that time, a sort of non-conformist and a bit wild, you know, and forthright and not terribly warm, and it was just fun to play her. It really was.
Well, it's a real person. I play Niels Bohr, who was one of the fathers of sort of quantum physics, debated with Einstein, some really significant figure in 20th century physics. So there's lots to read about. He's Danish, and he had lots of interest in sports. He had an interesting life. He had 6 children. It was somebody whose science and whose life were very rich. So I was encouraged to go read it, and also to call on my own experiences of visiting Los Alamos, where his involvement in the story takes place.
So Ernest Lawrence is one of the most kind of fascinating 20th century characters I knew nothing about. So when I got the role, I just went and read as many books as I could on him to kind of find out everything I could. The fact that he started the RAD Lab, the fact that he was the first person to kind of be in charge of this project, the fact that he was the first American physicist to win a Nobel Prize in his 30s. I mean, he was just a remarkable human being.
Where we started on this was Chris had an idea to use the violin as Oppenheimer's sound and portrayal his story. So that was kind of like the only note that Chris gave me in the beginning. And you know, it was a very different experience for me to work on this movie because I'd never done anything where the music is just telling one person's point of view.
Chris is such a complete director, writer-director, filmmaker, that when there's an opportunity, no matter the size of the role, the best actors in the world want to work with him. And, you know, as a producer, it's a blessing to be able to tag along to that.